And what about, this kind of goes into it, what about gym or strength exercises, and what sort of things can people change or do to build up their strength, as part of swimming? Because
Yes.
we're not looking to get bulky, we're just looking to get strong. But also,
Yeah.
it's really about functional strength when it comes to the strength training and swimming together. So,
Well, it's a great question, Brent. And I think the number one functional, sort of at the foundation of all functional movements, is the squat. And that's something that I see performed, in my opinion, incorrectly very often. And so it's an area that needs a lot of attention. And the benefits of squatting functionally I mean, I can keep you here for 2 hours on that, but I won't. It's incredible for the lower back. It's for swimmers. It's a wonderful way of loosening up, especially your latissimus dorsi or lats. It really helps to improve posture. So if you've got those desk-bound swimmers, squats are, for me, fundamental to get right. And I'm happy to share a few, pointers or errors that the guys do tend to make when they squat.
yeah, what would they be?
Well, we've been taught with the squats it's because so many people have hurt their backs, to keep their backs straight. And so the first mistake or thing I find when guys are squatting is they've got this sort of military uprights, where they sort of a proud chest. And the other thing we find is they're looking straight ahead, which you'll find that the whole point of squatting is to actually go down and pick something off the ground or to bend. So by actually getting into squat and to relax the upper back, so I'm not saying they mustn't round their lower back, but we're finding that sort of whole proud, stick the chest out, look straight ahead position actually switches off the core muscles. So looking down about a meter in front of you, it's the same when you're swimming. You'll notice when you're swimming, if your head's up, your core, it's difficult to contract the core. If you put your head down a little bit, you'll find the core switches on automatically. And it's the same principle with the squat.
I think that's where I've never really done squats much before because I've always had issues with my lower back in that the kind of lowest point in the squat. And I
Correct,
think it's because
correct.
I think I look too far forwards when I do it, and exactly what you're talking about, just the chest out, shoulder, the scapula is really retracted back.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So that's the main mistake that you see people make.
So that's the first, yeah. The second thing is their knees go too far forward. So we find that often the instruction is don't let your knees go past your toes. I always instruct the guys that that's still too far forwards. We've got to let the knees just be in the midline of the foot. So what I call the soft knee position. So it's just keeping those knees relaxed. As they go down, people tend to then go, as they go down, they tend to let the knee go almost in line with the toes. And they say, well, that's fine. My knee's not going past the toes. But that's still too far forward. You're going to find in that position the quadriceps and hamstrings are still going to dominate the movement. And even though they are working in the squats, your power muscle is your core, which is your abdominals, and your glutes got to fire. And so that's a big mistake I find. Another mistake people do is when they push up, they stand up instead of push up. So they actually lift up from the lower back muscles instead of pushing through the ground, which activates the core, the glutes, and the abdominal muscles. So there's quite a number of mistakes that the guys make with the core. And also, if you've got postural problems or you're not in great posture, squatting can be really difficult. So it's important to realize, that's part of the work that I do online, is to help the guys identify where their restrictions are and how they can reduce that or work around that.